Yeah, that's it.
Okay. We're just waiting for the clerk.
We're getting more agendas.
She's running the copy machine. She's running to get more agendas.
Flip it over.
And then we're
Oh, they'll hear me. You know that.
Are you all set? We'll call this meeting to order. If you'd please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Yes. Trustee Vert?
Present.
Trustee Favdahl?
Present.
Treasurer Anderson?
Present.
Supervisor Miller?
Here.
Clerk Triplett? Yes. And Trustee Lee?
Yes?
And Trustee Campbell?
Present.
Thank you.
Are there any additions or deletions to this evening's agenda? Haven't heard any. Are there any corrections to the minutes of our regular board meeting from April 18th? Hearing no corrections, all those in favor of approving the minutes from the regular meeting of April 18th signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign, no. Those stand approved. We'll move on to public comment. I'd ask that if you'd like to address the board, that you would come to the podium, state your name and address, and you don't need to state your address, I'm sorry. Just your name, and you'll have 4 minutes to address the board.
William Newsom. I know it's a little bit early and I was here today and I forgot to do it, but I just want to report an abandoned property next door to my house at G 3490. Needs its yard mowed already. I know we don't probably do it till June, but it's already 78 inches tall. And my problem right now is the ditch in front of that house is so full of grass and weeds that the water won't flow from my front ditch down to the county drain that's just half a way down that lot. So I just want to put on the list that it needs to be.
But you said 3490 Hogarth?
Yes.
Thank you.
G 3490.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then one other little thing, I was trying to read through a little bit of stuff, the agenda, and I really, big fan of the police department. I really support a lot of they do, but I want the board to think a little bit about, they're talking about buying some, or acquiring some cameras to take pictures of car license plate. I was trying to read through some of that. That's a very long, I don't know if it's a contract, but you guys really need to take a good look, because I found a part that I'm kind of worried about is just more, it's a slippery slope to me to start putting cameras up. It only takes pictures, it don't take video, but are we going to go down that road? And that's, safety-wise, if we need it, we need it. But it also says something about we don't keep the equipment. It's like we're just kind of renting it, so it's not really a purchase, and you have to deal with this company. So I don't know if you guys have had a chance to read through that stuff, but please take a look at it when you're talking about the expenditures for the camera. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board?
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Almasi, and I'm a candidate for state rep. I did leave up there my flyer. I'm a Democrat running in the 69th House seat, which includes most of Flint Township. I'm a retired high school business and English teacher, and I'm a former Flushing Township trustee. So I appreciate you guys working evenings and doing this work. I know that it's a thankless job at some point, but at the same time, I know it's important work. If you have any questions, please just let me know. My phone number is on my flyer. The things that I'm running on, of course, are education as an educator, but constituency services, my phone number is on there, and more importantly, about improving our revenue sharing. As a Flushing Township trustee, I know that our revenue sharing got cut drastically, and then again in 2010, and it is time we start putting that money back where it belongs. So I appreciate your time tonight, and thank you.
This isn't a question and answer period, but the county commissioners had their district map redrawn, which means also, I think at the state level, they've redrawn those maps.
Correct.
So normally, typically, we've had 3 representatives, 3 county commissioners in the township, and 1 or 2 representatives. Can you tell us, District 69, what that includes? You said most of Flint Township?
Most of Flint Township, correct. So it actually right down by Beecher Road area. So it's to the west of that, and most of the east of it is not. And so you will again have 2 different state reps.
Do you go north past Beecher Road?
I do.
You go south past, well, Maple is our border. You go all the way down to Maple?
Yes.
That's a big district. Thank you.
Yes, and it goes all the way to the west over to M13 and up to M57. And then there's some city carves out around the edges.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Nice
you.
to meet you.
Hello, my name is David Patterson, Sr. I'm a Gulf War veteran. I also own a tire and automotive shop on Flushing Road, G3503 Flushing Road. My comment or concern is with small businesses that cannot display any temporary signs during the times of business. A lot of small businesses are trying to get off the ground, but because of the old laws, we can't get enough advertising by being away from the road so far, and I would like to see a temporary sign being passed that we can do during business hours. And also, I had did my business for 11 years, but because of a car accident that I was in February of last year, I shut down temporarily. And as of right now, I'm not doing anything with the property, but I've had a few investors interested in doing growing medical marijuana or legalized marijuana. And I'm looking around and seeing all the other counties or cities, counties or townships making money. Be real about it. And like right across the street from me is Flint, and they're growing. Burton is growing. Clio is growing. Mount Morris is growing. And it's not fair to allow somebody else to continue to make the money right in your face, and you can't do anything about it. So I just wanted to just comment on that and hoping that that'll be considered.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board?
Good evening. My name is Kenyatta Dodson, and I'm also running for state representative for the newly formed 69th district. And as Jennifer mentioned, the other representative that you will have for Flint Township would be the 70th, and that would be Neely. So she's absolutely right, you will have two. So it would be 69th. And for the 69th district, we will have a really large district, and that district will be Montrose, Clio, Flint Township, Mount Morris, Beecher, Flushing Township, Clayton Township, Flint Township, and Swartz Creek. My name is Kenyatta Dodson. I am a social worker. I'm a military veteran from the Army. I am a 25-year community advocate, and I've worked incredibly hard within the Flint and Genesee, within Flint and Genesee County. I understand that this cannot just be about politics. It has to be about service. It has to be about serving the people. We have to do what's best for the people, and we need to dedicate ourselves to working on behalf of the people within, not only within our district, but within our state and within our nation. What we do for one, we have to also do for all. I am committed to doing this work. I didn't just wake up last week or 6 months ago and say, you know what, I think I want to be a state representative. I have been doing this work for 25 years, and I've been doing it because it's within my soul. And I know that I need to apply policy and I need to apply laws to the great work that has been done over the past 25 years. What you all do and what the people within this room does, we're here at 6 o'clock in the evening because we care about Flint Township and because we care about what's happening within our city and within our district. And I care as well. And I know in order to make sustainable change, we have to apply laws to the great work and the great service that we're doing. What I stand on in terms of the priority is community, family, and also education. We cannot have strong families, we cannot have sound education, we cannot have a strong and safe community without adequate jobs, without strong and quality health care, and without making sure that each and every one of us have access to these services. And so when I go into the House, I want to make sure that I'm taking the voice of the people with me, and not only into the room, but around the table. And when I go into the State House, I want to make sure that our experiences go into the House and into those rooms with me as well. We have to make sure that the voice of the people goes far and goes wide. And when we do this, we have to make sure that there's a collaborative effort that goes forth as well. Too often, our elected officials forget about what needs to happen in terms of working together with the people at the local level, at the county level, at the state level, and at the city level. And most importantly, within our district levels. And that's what I want to do. I want to make sure that across the board, we're all working together and that the people are not forgotten. So thank you so very much for your time. My name is Kenyatta Dodson, and I am running for 69th District, a newly formed district within our area. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board?
Do you want me to go pull that curtain down for you?
No, it's all right.
My name is Gerald Roberts of 4487 Lindywood Drive, Swartz Creek, Michigan. I want to put three names out in front of you people. Debbie Stabenow, Gary Peters, Dale Kildee. Recently, our Senate took a vote. The vote was 51 to 49. It entailed abortion. I'm a born-again Christian. I believe in right to life. In that particular vote, in the bill, 49 Democratic senators voted to adopt an amendment our law going for full-term abortions, which in my estimation is outright murder. Being a right-to-life person, I think that's wrong. Being a Christian, I think that's wrong. Being a veteran, I think that's wrong. On a lighter note, I vote for a person, not a party. I vote for a person, in other words, that I feel that can be properly for the people and conservative. We now have running for county commissioner a conservative Democrat that believes in the old Democratic Party, not this new socialist Democratic Party that's trying to take over our country right now. This gentleman's name is Mr. Dave Hoffman. He went down and registered as a Democrat for our county commissioner. He's running against two people. They're both over at junior college. One is a gay liberation supporter, and the other one in the same college is running right directly against that particular person because they don't believe in that particular right. I think that if we can vote in Mr. Hoffman, who's a conservative Democrat, the way that the Democratic Party used to be in the 1960s and 70s, not to where it's came to today. Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board? Anyone? So we will close the public comment portion of our meeting and we'll move on to reports. We have a long meeting. I don't have a report for us this evening except to say we're still getting questions on when yard waste pickup began. It began in the first Thursday in April, and it continues to last Friday in November, the day after Thanksgiving. We've noticed that a lot of yards haven't been mowed yet, and our code enforcement will get out and send a notice of violation to anyone who hasn't taken care of their property. Notice that people are mowing and their grass clippings end up in the street. You're not allowed to do that. We would ask that residents, if you have a catch basin in front of your house, that you'd clear it so the water can drain properly and not cause any problems for anybody. And a question came up about temporary signs. And I just wanted to mention that right now our sign ordinance is under review. Laws have changed such that we have to make sure we comply with free speech. Oops, let me shut that off.
You're done.
Anyhow,
I'm done.
anyhow, as I was saying with the temporary sign ordinance, our attorney is reviewing it, and so once he's done that, that ordinance will come before this board for a vote, and that should be this year sometime soon. So look for that, and we can also discuss amongst ourselves. I know we chatted about the issue of marijuana and whether it was allowed or not in the township. The board before this one voted no, that it wasn't allowed, but we have a new board, and we've had several people ask us to revisit that. And so if this board wants to put it back on the agenda and have a discussion about it, we can, and we can do that this year. So I just wanted to address those two issues that were brought up. And lastly, I know as Chief Salter, as we discussed the cameras, I just wanted to reiterate, the state law does not allow us to law enforce using cameras, does it?
Correct. We cannot issue citations with the cameras.
Okay, and we have to follow that, of course. That's my report for now. Madam Clerk, do you have a report this evening?
Yes, I'd like to report on our election that was May 3rd. It was a success. We had a great turnout. We had great cooperation with our election workers and co-chairs, worked really good with us. We have a really good team that's working for you guys in the clerk's office, and hopefully you'll see that going forth. So I want to thank everybody here, even here at the township that helped out, and to all our residents that came in and volunteered to help to work. So it was a success. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Madam Treasurer, do you have a report for us this evening? Are there any trustee reports this evening? I'll start on this end. Trustee Vert, report?
Not right now.
Trustee Fettal? Trustee Campbell?
No.
Trustee Klee?
No, ma'am.
Alrighty, we'll move on to staff report. Chief Salter, do you have a report?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Thank you. Since our last board meeting, April 18th, your police department responded to over 2,599 calls, which is about a 96 per day average. And that's an increase. We are at 82, 83 average our last board meeting. So of course, it's getting warmer out, and it seems like we get busier too. During the same time frame, we had over 399 traffic stops, 176 business checks, and 122 residence checks. Since our last meeting, there's a homicide on April 22nd in the 1000 block of Bristol. Our investigation revealed that an 80-year-old homeowner shot and killed an intruder. This case is still under investigation and will be forwarded to the prosecutor's office for charges once it's complete. Some of the different calls that we've been dispatched to the last month, 6 different times we've been called to, responded to calls where either shots into a building or shots at a person. We have made over 8 different carrying concealed weapons arrests, with the majority of them being firearms. Like I said, on a good note, Officer Deke and K-9 Duke, our newly purchased K-9, is starting the training academy today in Oakland County. They should be done in about 6 weeks.
Deke and Duke?
Yes,
Okay.
it is. That's what I said too. So Officer Deke and K-9 Duke. Since our last board meeting, 2 officers resigned. 1 was still in training at the time, and 1 accepted a position at Linden Police Department. But on a good note, 2 officers finished their training. Officer Lashbrook and Officer Goodman both completed and are now on solo patrol. That's good news. And I have 2 items for the agenda tonight.
Thank you. Chief Beckley?
Thank you. Since the last board meeting, your fire department has responded to 66 calls. Just a few highlights of those calls. On May 5th, we responded to a structure fire at the Red Roof Inn on Miller Road. Damage in that fire was contained to 1 room. This appears to be an electrical fire, is what we determined that one to be. On May 9th, we responded to a water rescue incident on Ballinger Highway over the Flint River. A male subject, sorry, Chief, jumped off of the bridge into the Flint River. He was rescued after hanging on to a log in the middle of the river for an extended period of time. We did receive assistance from the Flushing Fire Department with their boat on that incident, and that gentleman was transported to the hospital for evaluation. On May 10th, the fire department participated in the triannual disaster drill at Bishop International Airport. We had several firefighters, 2 fire engines, a lot of personnel out there to assist in that. This drill is imperative to ensure the emergency response plan for the county is intact and working properly, and helps us to identify any deficiencies so that we can work on them. Also, your fire department received a 100 Club grant for $2,600 to purchase particulate blocking hoods. They will be ordered very soon. Another positive note, our 3 new on-call firefighters have all completed the fire academy and have all received their firefighter 1 and 2 certifications. So they will be hitting the streets, very soon here to help protect us. So we congratulate them, and we look forward to getting them active out there with us. Another incident, this morning we were responding to a structure fire in the 1100 block of Gilbert Street. Fire crews arrived to have heavy smoke and fire coming out of the back of the home. Fire crews were assisted by Mount Morris Township Fire Department, and our police department and Michigan State Police were also on scene with that. The cause of that fire is still under investigation at this time. Over the past week and over the next few weeks, firefighters will be completing hose testing, where we take every piece of fire hose that we have in the department and we test it to ensure that it's ready, for fire operations. This is a required annual, every year. So you'll see a lot of activity down at the fire department. That's what we're working on. And also, just as kind of a little bit of information as well, your firefighters do a lot more than just put fires out. On May 2nd, we responded at the request of the Michigan State Police to assist with several baby ducklings that were stuck in a storm drain on Corona Road. So we were able to safely remove 3 baby ducklings and reunite them with their mom in a neighboring backyard. So they were all very happy. The family was all reunited. So, kind of a good happy note there. And we do have one action item on the agenda for this evening.
So I wanted to ask you about the repair and replacement of hydrants, fire hydrants.
Yes.
When you took over, you noticed that there was a significant number of hydrants that either needed to be replaced or repaired.
That's correct, yes.
Did you want to give a little update?
Sure. Yep. So there, our water system in the township is aging, and over the years, there's been several fire hydrants that have been out of service for various issues. And we slowly try to replace or repair those when we can, but we noticed kind of a backlog of them that have been kind of stacking up over the last few years. So the Genesee County Water Department has been working on getting all of those in service. So all of our out of service fire hydrants, hopefully within the next few months, will be repaired and operational in the
100%.
township. Yep.
Alrighty, good. So half of them, we're halfway through that list, right?
Just over halfway. Yep.
Great, good. Good to hear. And I know you didn't in your report tell us about the grant that you got, the police department got, did you?
That's correct, because I was going to mention it in one of the agenda items.
Never mind.
For the, okay.
Alrighty, thank you for those reports. Do we have a road report? Not tonight, so we'll move on to a proclamation. We have Mr. George Menudas with us and some of his family members. George has served the township in many capacities over the years, and the township wanted to honor him as he has recently sold his home and now is no longer on our planning commission. George, if you could join me in the middle of the up front here.
You okay?
Look at us, we're twins. Let's go.
George seems to be getting around better than she is.
You should be front and center.
I was told I could speak,
Yes, you can.
but I could speak for a half hour. Excuse me, all the night. So I have no time.
So if you'll stand here, we want to get your pretty face on camera.
Turn around here, George, so we can see you.
I'm a widower.
Alrighty, so, as long as I, have been serving the township, you've been serving the township, you go back a long time. before that.
1965. 68. 65, you put in 65, I pulled it up today. I'm standing correct.
Yeah, I think it was 65. So we have a proclamation to say thank you and to honor you, George, and I'm gonna read it, okay?
Okay.
Whereas Planning Commissioner George Menudas has aided in the planning and development of the Charter Township of Flint during his service to the Charter Township of Flint. Whereas Commissioner Menudas has served the residents, business, and property owners of Flint Township with professionalism, experience, and knowledge. And whereas Commissioner Menudas has brought more than 55 years of municipal experience to his various roles in and for the Township of Flint, more than any other public servant during the history of the township. Whereas Commissioner Menudas is known as a virtual encyclopedia of history regarding the Charter Township of Flint. And whereas Commissioner Menudas worked as a self-employed pharmacist for more than 55 years, which led him to become a champion of business owners in and around Flint Township. Whereas Commissioner Menudas has served on numerous boards and commissions, including the Flint Township Board of Trustees, Flint Township Planning Commission, Fire Commission, Board of Appeals, and Board of Review. Whereas Commissioner Menudas began his lifelong duty of public service during World War II as he proudly served in the United States Army. And whereas Commissioner Menudas is known for his abiding faith and loyal friendships, as well as his allegiance to his alma mater, Ferris State University. And whereas the Charter Township of Flint wishes to publicly recognize the significant lifetime contributions of Commissioner Menudas to the Flint Township community. Now therefore, the Board of Trustees of the Charter Township of Flint, on behalf of the staff and residents, do hereby issue this proclamation to honor Commissioner George Menudas and to recognize his time and dedication to the community and to the residents of the Charter Township of Flint. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's fine. You can stand at the podium. Why don't you introduce the family?
I planned to speak for 20 minutes. But somebody gave me the wrong time. I was here at 5 o'clock. I didn't want to miss any any presents or money that somebody's going to surprise me with. But anyway, I moved into this township in 1955. I lived at the corner of Miller and Dye Road. I was here when that General Motors plant was built, and that's when I got sewer and water. But anyway, I could talk for half an hour and tell you about my history, but the greatest thing I did was I was in the Army, I retired, and I ended up coming home and going to college and becoming a pharmacist. And then I met Ted Mansour. Some of you might know him, and maybe some don't. And I remember the year 1968. Ted Mansour was a supervisor of this township. I might be off a year or two. That's when we had a planning commission. It was called a zoning board. We had 3 members on it. Those 3 members were trustees as well. One was Al Laval, who that street's named at, and one's called Ainsworth, who has a business on Bristol Road. They put me on that zoning board. So I was there for a long time. And I don't know how to thank all those people, past and present. I want to thank the present people. I recommend you keep your head up and straight and honest as you are. I want to thank you very much for appointing me on these commissions. As long as I was here, I never got a chance to compliment Mrs. Campbell for being elected. I wish you all the luck in the world.
Thank you.
I at that time, I ended up going from planning commission to becoming a county commissioner, and then I became a, God bless Governor Blanchard, who you all might remember. He appointed me to the State Board of Pharmacy for 5 years. And then the other lady that was a governor,
Greenholm?
Granholm, yeah. She appointed me, thank you. I owe you. She appointed me to the State Board of Ferris State University. I was on that board for 8 years. I learned a lot. I met a lot. I didn't learn any more than what I learned here in Flint Township. There was great people here. The officers and the trustees that were elected were very competent. Police department and the fire department, I can't say enough for you. I just hope that you keep them growing and don't lose track of their good work. Now, presently, I was married, too, you know. That's why my family's here. Well, they want to make sure I say the right things. 'Cause I got points from them. They help me. I lose them, I can't even come here. I want to introduce my daughter, Alexis Branov, who's the oldest. And stand up so they can see you. Because we're not coming back here anymore. And then Susan Settis, who's the second one. That's my cab driver. And then my son James, he's number 3.
He's a baby.
I thank them for coming. I'm proud of them as they're proud of me. And I think I've said enough because I'm liable to make a mistake.
Who's the guy in the second
Oh.
row?
Oh, I know who. I want to thank Larry Ford. Is he here?
No.
Oh, Larry Ford and Brady Smith, they contacted me, and I want to thank them for all their help, because they come and pick me up and take me for a ride. I'm at a nice place. I'm at Abbey Park, and if there's something wrong with it, blame my daughters. They picked it. Other than that, I want to thank you all again for this presentation, and God bless you all. Stay true to your the right, and be careful. Don't do anything wrong, because you've been here like that lady from Flushing, looking for votes. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you very much, George. And while George was recognizing some people, I just wanted to make sure the rest of the board knew. We have a previous trustee here. He's shaking hands now.
Brady.
Brady Smith. I just wanted to make sure all the board knew that you were here. Trustee Brady Smith, he served the board for how many years?
First time I've set foot in the building since I left that board.
Oh, wow.
And how many years did you serve, Brady?
28 years.
28 years. Thank you. Thank you. We have a Genesee County Road Commissioner, Dave Arcio, in the back there, and George's brother-in-law, John Mandelaris, is a Genesee County Road Commissioner over here, right over here. We thank you for being here. We thank you, George his family too. That was a good presentation. So before we move on, did you want to mention anything about what's going on at Central Nazarene this Saturday?
We're having our in Flint, and what that means is we're having volunteers that are gonna go out into the city of Flint, and they're gonna be, we've got the church next door, his ministry, they're gonna be painting there. They're gonna be at the East Side Mission and gonna be doing work there. Then they're going to the seniors, if anybody needs lawn care, planting flowers or something, they're gonna be helping there. So there's different sites that people can volunteer for, cleanup, yard cleanup. If anybody's interested in doing it, you can contact Flint Central, the Nazarene, and I'm sure they'll put you on one of the activities that we have going. We meet at 8 o'clock on Saturday, and then they're gonna serve coffee and donuts, and then we'll be leaving to our assigned area.
Thank you very much. So we'll move on to number 8, Madam Treasurer.
I'd like to make a motion that we pay bills in the amount of $1,966,845.88. And we have tax disbursements in the amount of $329,259.90 for a total of $2,296,105.78.
Is there a second to the motion?
Support.
Any questions for Madam Treasurer? No? All those in favor, oh, no, we're doing a roll call vote. Sorry. Madam Clerk, can you take the roll call on the motion to pay the invoices in the amount of $1,966,845.88?
Yes, trustee Favell,
Yes.
treasurer Anderson.
Yes.
Supervisor Miller,
Yes.
clerk Triplett, yes. Trustee Clee.
Yes.
Trustee Campbell.
Yes.
Trustee Vert.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the proclamation we just presented to Commissioner George Menoudas?
Clee would move that we accept the proclamation.
Is there a second to the motion? Any discussion? No, for the record? All those in favor of the proclamation presented to George Menoudas signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, it stands approved. We move on to, Madam Clerk, do we have any correspondence or informational items?
No.
Thank you. New business, action item A. Chief Beckley.
Thank you. To assist your fire department in maintaining a reliable fleet of vehicles, we are requesting the purchase of a new Sutphen SL75 aerial ladder truck. This vehicle will replace a 1996 fire pumper. Sutphen is a family-owned business located in Dublin, Ohio. Has been in operation since 1890. At this time, we feel that Sutphen is best able to meet our unique and specific requirements for this type of a truck. This truck will offer us the same capabilities that our fire department currently has with our fire pumpers, but will also add the additional capabilities of an elevated water source and also working capabilities with its mounted 75-foot long ladder. The total cost of this truck is $1,033,368.17 as available through the HGAC buy program. HGAC is a national cooperative purchasing program that secures competitive bids from manufacturers. This is the same program that we bought our last fire truck through in 2019. If we do select the full prepayment option, we would receive a discount of $25,834.20, which then brings the total to $1,007,533.97. This purchase will require a budget amendment in the 2022 fire equipment millage to account for the 50% purchase if we decide to go that route. And that's my.
So I just want to make sure we get on record. Your recommendation is that we're going to pay for this truck. Half of it is coming out of the fire equipment millage, and the other half you're requesting the board to approve using ARPA funds?
That's correct, yes.
And so we're going to pay for it upfront and receive the $25,834 discount. Is that correct?
That's the recommendation I have.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll take a motion to move forward.
Cleve would move to approve the purchase of the new Sutphen SL75 aerial ladder truck as recommended by the chief to the tune of $1,007,533.97 from the Sutphen Corporation, allowing us through the cooperative purchasing program, along with the 50-50 split in funding from the fire equipment millage and through ARPA funding. And then a budget amendment would need to be assessed, as you stated, to increase the new equipment in the fire millage to $503,766.99. Is that all right?
Perfect.
Campbell will second. Thank you.
A lot of information.
Any further questions or discussion for Chief Beckley? No? So we all know it's a 50-50 split using ARPA funds and then also using fire equipment funds. And I know that you've talked to all the trustees, and I've asked that you also talk to them about a 5-year plan for equipment moving forward, and I think you guys have had that discussion. Is there any further questions? And if not, Madam Clerk, roll call, please, on the motion to purchase a fire truck with the specifics that Mr. Klee made in his motion.
Treasurer Anderson?
Yes.
Supervisor Miller?
Yes.
Clerk Triplett, yes. Trustee Klee?
Yes.
Trustee Campbell?
Yes.
Trustee Burt?
Yes.
And Trustee Favdahl?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Board.
So what you didn't tell us, though, is that we're not going to see that truck for 18 months to maybe 2 years. Is that correct?
The anticipated build time for this truck is 16 to 18 months is what was presented to us. These trucks are custom built to our specs, so basically we get to hand pick everything on this truck to make it fit the Flint Township of fire department. So they're very, very specific, right down to the nuts, the bolts, the tires, the wheels. I mean, they build these things from the ground up. So it is about a 1.5 year build time. Yes.
So you mentioned when you were speaking that the last time we purchased a truck was 19, but I think it was 16, wasn't it? 2016?
2016, yes, and then we received that truck in 17,
Okay.
and then there was another fire engine bought in 19 that we
Okay.
received in 21. So this will be the next replacement of our, yes.
Thank you very much. We move on to action item B.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. I'm requesting the board to approve the purchase of a total of 11 bulletproof vests, 9 which are everyday wear and 2 which are tactical vests. We have historically received almost half reimbursement for our everyday vests through the U.S. Department of Justice Bulletproof Vest Partnership BVP grant, and we also recently received a grant through the 100 Club for $4,930, which will be used towards the tactical vest. The tactical vests are heavier and are used for high-risk situations by our incident response teams, i.e. hostage or barricaded gunmen or search warrants. The total cost is $15,645 for all 11 vests going through CMP distributors.
Clee would move that we accept Chief Salter's motion to purchase the 11 vests, 9 patrol, 2 tactical, that will assist in protecting our officers on duty through CMP distributors to a total cost of $15,645 and no pennies.
Is there a second to the motion?
Kimball will second.
Madam Clerk, any further discussion? No, hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Supervisor Miller,
Yes.
Clerk Triplett, yes. Trustee Clee?
Yes.
Trustee Campbell?
Yes.
Trustee Vert?
Yes.
Trustee Fabdog?
Yes.
Treasurer Anderson?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion is approved.
Thank you, Board.
On to action item C, Chief Salter.
Yes, me again. Your police department is requesting approval to order 16 license plate readers, LPR flock cameras for $46,500. These cameras would help your police department fight crime. They can be installed anywhere, and we have tentative locations throughout the township. But again, we're going to meet with our flock camera installers if it's approved to see what they think is the best spots in the township. Flint City currently has cameras throughout the city, and they have helped solve crimes such as a homicide, armed robbery, and sex trafficking. There are several other examples of this system that has helped solve crimes, and I forwarded them to you guys last week. What the flock cameras are not, they are not a facial recognition camera. They are not tied to any personal identification identifiers, i.e. a plate. They have no idea who the plate comes back to. These will not be used for traffic enforcement, which I know we talked about for a minute. The cameras do read license plates, gathers objective and evidence and facts about vehicles, example, color and make of the vehicle. It does not gather facts about people. It alerts police of wanted vehicles and used to help solve crime. The Genesee Auto Theft Investigation Unit Network, or GAIN, which we are part of, has indicated that they will reimburse half the cost of the cameras this year and then cover the rest of the cost. Can't say cost right now. Cost every year, preceding year after that one. In your packet, I've included a copy of the agreement that will need to be signed. I have forwarded to our attorney, Peter Goodstein, so he can review it too before it is signed. So that concludes my part of it.
So when we go to pay for these up front, you're asking that it comes out of the ARPA funds, and
Yes.
then we'll receive reimbursement.
Correct.
Motion is in order to move forward.
Clee would move to order the 16 flock cameras that the chief has recommended for placement throughout the township upon their decision where. Total price of $46,500 using ARPA funds received by Flint Township to pay for them up front.
Alrighty, is there a second? By trustee Vert. Are there any questions for Chief Salter? Any further discussion? Yes? No?
I'm good.
Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call, please, on the motion to approve the purchase of the flock cameras in the amount of $46,500.
Clerk Triplett, yes. Trustee Clee?
Yes.
Trustee Campbell?
Yes.
Trustee Vert?
Yes.
Trustee Fabdog?
Yes.
Treasurer Anderson?
Yes.
And Supervisor Miller.
Yes,
Thank you for your read.
Thank you, Board.
thank you. Madam Clerk, you're up next, action item D.
Yes, action item D is in regards to our new polling place, Living Word Church in Calkins. We're asking the board to approve the new location for our voting.
It'd be our fourth polling place, right, on
Yes.
Calkins Road?
Right, because we got rid of
Go ahead.
New Creation.
New creation, is that your
Um,
motion?
Yes, my motion.
Is there a second to the motion?
Support.
Bert supports. Any questions for Madam Clerk on the new polling place?
Work.
Will this be posted on the website?
Yes.
Thank you.
And everybody's going to be receiving a new
Card in the mail.
card in the mail.
Absolutely.
All those in favor of approving the Living Word, the new location for the polling place, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed? Let's see. Action item E, Madam Clerk.
So the next thing I'm asking for is that to allow the new polling location for the August 2020 election. If I could get a motion for that.
Do you want to make the motion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I make a motion that we approve the polling location from the new creation to the Living Word Church for August 22 election.
Clea would move
2022.
to accept your motion to accept the new location of Living World Church.
So the clerk made the motion, you're making the second.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
That's fine.
Any questions for Madam Clerk?
My fault.
All those in favor of approving the motion for the polling place effective August 2022, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That stands approved. Action item F. Tracy was going to get on a live stream with us. She's not, is she?
No, she's not able to.
So
We don't have to-
I'm going to try and go through her items here. Let me find my place here. Flint Township submitted for grant dollars, the ARPA funds, through the Genesee County Board of Commissioners, and we received a grant for the emergency backup generators for Fire Station 1 and for this location also. And they awarded Flint Township matching funding for the purchase of emergency backup generators that were part of the current Flint Township Capital Improvement Plan. The grant will cover up to 33% of the cost of the project, not to exceed $36,300. Flint Township would be committing to an amount not to exceed $72,600 after reimbursement, so 50% of it, right? To be paid from the ARPA funds that we have received or will be receiving. Total expenditure not to exceed $110,000, with the grant reimbursing up to 33%. Excuse me. A motion would be needed to accept the grant dollars as presented, commit to the expenditure of ARPA funds not to exceed $110,000, and authorize the clerk's department to move forward with bidding as required in the grant contract. Motion is in order to move forward.
Clea would move to accept the proposal submitted by Ms. Tucker for the backup generators.
So beyond the money that we're receiving from the county, we would be using ARPA dollars to match that grant.
Correct.
Okay, just
Yep.
making sure.
Yep.
Any other questions? No further discussion?
We didn't get a second, did we?
Anderson supports.
Since, yeah.
Okay, now I'll ask, is there any further questions? I apologize. No? Here, yes?
So between the grant and then ARPA supporting the rest of it? Awesome.
Yes, yes.
We like ARPA.
Yes. Spend it right.
Would you please take the roll call on the accepting the grant, the ARPA grant from the county and matching it with our ARPA dollars? And then you're also going to put it out to bid, right?
Yes. So trustee Campbell,
Yes.
trustee Burt,
Yes.
trustee Favdahl,
Yes.
trustee Anderson,
Yes.
supervisor Miller,
Yes.
clerk Triplett, yes, and trustee Clee.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So we got another grant. Let me get to it. Yes.
G.
Flint Township was awarded matching funds to conduct a target market analysis study that is part of the current Flint Township Capital Improvement Plan. She will forward the grant, the digital copy of the grant contract. The grant will cover up to 33% of the cost, not to exceed $33,000. Flint Township would be committing to an amount not to exceed $67,000 after reimbursement, to be paid from the ARPA funds that we've received or will be receiving. The study will be facilitated through the Flint Township DDA, the expenditure not to exceed $100,000, with the grant reimbursing up to 33%. A motion would be needed to accept the grant dollars as presented, commit to the expenditure of ARPA funds not to exceed the $100,000, and to authorize the clerk's department to move forward with bidding as required in the grant contract. Someone like to make that motion?
Target analysis. Clea will move to accept the Economic Enhancement Director's request for the target market analysis study and the funding based as presented. 2 paragraphs. I just hit my phone.
Is there a second to the motion?
A second.
Any questions or further discussion?
I do have a question. I think, I know we've had some conversation, I'm not real clear about The study.
The
Well-
study's going to look at the heart of the business district, which would be the Miller Road area, and including the mall, and marking it better to bring more business and bring it to its fullest potential. I believe that's what the analysis, the study's for.
So before we, I can live with approving this, but before we actually go out for this study, I would like maybe a brief presentation as
From the
to what
DDA?
we're looking for,
Okay.
because in the past, we've had some studies done, and then when you get it, it's
Yeah.
off of our website. It's not a real study. And so
Yeah.
I don't want to spend these kind of dollars if we're not going to really gain some information. And I need to make sure that it fits into
I agree
what
with
we're
you.
doing with our economic development, with our, our capital improvement plan and all of that,
The
so,
four corners,
right.
Corona Road, Linden
So-
Road, Miller Road, Ballinger Highway, that encompasses the business area. You're right. That's exactly
As
right.
we move forward on this and we approve this motion with accepting the grants, I would like to see a presentation come to this board from the DDA before we commit those dollars.
Yes.
Is that what you want?
Yes.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I thought
Alrighty.
they were going to. Yeah, I thought they
Alrighty,
were
so.
going to.
Agreed, yes.
I
um,
thought they were going to.
Thank you.
Will you take the roll call on the motion and then contingent on the presentation to the board before the funds are expended, please?
Trustee Burt,
No.
trustee Fabdo,
As long as the DDA does come and do the presentation, yes. Yeah. make
Okay.
sure it's in there.
all right, treasurer Anderson.
After hearing Ms. Pfaff-Dahl's comments, can we maybe not approve this tonight and get the presentation and then come back and
I
approve?
agree.
Or will it,
I agree.
We
will
got a
it
motion.
jeopardize
Yeah, we
the
got a
grant?
motion on the table. Let's finish
You have
the
to vote,
motions.
yeah.
Can
you
we,
have to-
can?
You
is
have to
there-
vote, keep it going, then come
Right,
back.
right, I hear you. I was going to ask a question, but you're right, we
But
can't,
the
we've already taken. it.
Motion included the presentation, is that
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
Right, yeah,
So
the motion
yes, as
includes
long as we have the
the
presentation.
presentation.
So yes.
Does. Okay, so trustee Anderson, yes. Supervisor Miller?
Yes.
Trustee, clerk Triplett, yes.
Okay,
Trustee Clee?
I'm going
Wait
to
a
ask
minute.
that question.
Okay.
I'm leaning back towards
Doesn't he have to
Barb now.
wait?
So
Okay.
we're,
Doesn't he have to vote and then come back?
yeah,
and
you're
ask?
right. I can't talk. Yes, because I
Okay.
moved it.
Trustee Campbell?
No. I want to see the presentation first, too.
One, two, did you vote yes or no? What was the
Yes,
final?
we got two
Yes.
noes.
So majority is, it was approved. Thank you.
Madam Supervisor?
Yes.
Can we specifically state as that, well, that was part of the
Yes.
discussion anyway, and that they have to be here and we're not going to spend any money until we see it? And at that point, we could then bring it back to this board, if I'm not mistaken, and say, okay, we did.
We're not gonna do it.
Yeah, we did agree to this, however, we've agreed not to now.
The clerk's office is going to be involved with the bidding, so we'll keep an eye on that.
All righty.
Okay?
Thank you.
Done in the valley?
We can bid and then say no to all of it?
We're going to get the proposals, and then that will come back to the DDA, and then they can make a presentation to us before they sign any paperwork to engage.
With zero cost to us at that point.
What are the proposals going to say? That's what we want to know, what we're looking for with this kind of money. This is a lot of money.
I agree.
So we'd like to, before we,
The next DDA meeting is June 2nd. I'll get with Tracy and I'll talk to her that the board is interested in being closely involved with this study. Okay?
Couple of questions. One is there a timeline on these,
Grant
that
money.
we have to use the grant money?
Yes.
Okay. And also, didn't we have a study on the valley, Genesee Valley? Didn't we do?
We did a study.
We
and
were part of something,
I
not
agree with Lisa.
recently.
There was a study done, and I think it was insufficient and
Right.
almost incompetent, where most of the information was taken off of our website, and I can't
what I'm
believe we
saying,
paid
right.
for it. But
Right.
that's why I think Treasurer Anderson raised the concern,
Correct.
because
Okay.
we just don't want to be wasting money.
Okay, because there could be a presentation with the bid packets, is what my understanding was. The presentation could be along with the bid, with the package.
Alrighty. So we move on to H. You have information, proposal from IT Right to do upgrades to our, the tower in our computer room, and a motion would be in order to move forward.
Anderson moved to authorize the supervisor to contract with IT Right for the upgrades to the computer tower for an amount of $8,302.74.
Is there a trustee Burt supports that?
Yeah.
Any questions or discussion on that? It hasn't been organized or updated since it was installed.
Did we
the
say where
tower.
the funding was coming from?
It's coming from the ARPA dollars.
Okay, just wanted to make that for the record.
Well, that, okay. If there's no further questions or discussion, Madam Clerk, roll call, please, on the proposal to upgrade and update the computer tower in the amount of $8,302.74.
Okay, trustee Burt,
Yes.
trustee Fabdo,
Yes.
treasurer Anderson,
Yes.
supervisor Miller,
Yes.
clerk Triplett, yes, trustee Clay,
Yes.
and trustee Campbell.
Yes.
Thank you for your vote.
Action item I is a board appointment. We have an opening in our, on the Planning Commission, and I'd like to recommend that we appoint Oscar Hare, who is an engineer himself. He's served on our road advisory for a couple years now. He had put an application in to serve on the Planning Commission many years ago, and so I'm asking the board to move forward with a motion to appoint Oscar Hare as a Planning Commissioner.
Support.
Is there, well,
Did you make the motion?
no, I just made the
okay.
recommendation.
Then I'll go ahead and make the motion that we have Oscar Hare be appointed to the Planning Commission, replacing Mr. Menuda's term, who expires in November of 2021. And then Mr. Hare's term would expire on 2025, November.
Thank you. Is there a second to the motion?
Anderson supports.
Any further discussion? Any questions? All those in favor of appointing Oscar Hare to our Planning Commission with a term expiring 2025 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And that stands approved. We move on to action item J. You have in your board packet an engagement letter from bond counsel Pat McGow from Miller Canfield. In order to get the bond, we need to have bond counsel. And Plant Moran recommended Pat McGow, and I'm asking the board to approve the letter of engagement.
Anderson makes a motion to authorize the supervisor to engage Miller Canfield as the bond counsel for the Flagstone SAD project as presented.
Is there a second to the motion?
Support.
Is there any questions or discussion?
Does that come out of the monies overall? That it's no dollars out of, per se, out of our pocket to
Nope,
hire new
it goes
counsel?
toward the project, and
Okay.
then it's all divvied up.
That's what I thought. Thank you.
Yeah, and the cost, the legal fee is $15,500. So if there's no further discussion and no further questions, Madam Clerk, roll call, please, on approving the engagement letter for bond counsel Pat McGow.
Trustee Campbell,
Yes.
trustee Burt,
Yes.
trustee Fabdo,
Yes.
treasurer Anderson.
Yes.
Supervisor Miller,
Yes.
and clerk Triplett, yes.
Thank you. The next is an engagement letter for financial advisor for the Flagstone SAD. We got recommendations for financial advisor services, and we received 3 different estimates. Our attorney, Michael Gilner, had reviewed these, and I talked with our controller, and I'd like the board to approve this engagement letter for financial advisor of, what's the name of them? PFM Financial Advisors. They would be the ones who would be the financial advisor for the bond.
Anderson would like to make the motion to authorize the supervisor to engage with PFM as the financial advisor for the Flagstone SAD project as presented.
Is there a second to the motion?
Support.
Any further discussion?
What's the cost on this one?
So you see on, what page is it of hers? It's 10 KA in our packet. She gives you an example. The base rate fee is $8,000, and then based on bonds of different amounts, there's additional fees to it. So for example, their fee on a $1.6 million special assessment limited tax general obligation bond would be $12,800. So the base fee plus she shows how they calculate it. So the township were to proceed with the direct placement for the bonds due to the reduced scope of services, our fee for a bond issuance of approximately 1.6 million would be $10,000. So it's right in that area.
Okay.
Okay? So do we have a motion in a second?
Yes, we did, Anderson and Frampton.
Any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call, please, on approving the engagement letter for PFM Financial Advisors.
Hey, Trustee Clee?
Yes.
Trustee Campbell?
Yes.
Trustee Burt?
Yes.
Trustee Favdor?
Yes.
Treasurer Anderson?
Yes.
Supervisor Miller?
Yes.
And Clerk Triplett, yes.
Thank you. Mike, I thought you were closer, first up on the agenda. I apologize. I think it got changed, but anyway. Here's Mike Pfeiffer, our engineer, to discuss the pump stations for us.
No problem, by the way. I always enjoy hearing what's going on. Yes, Mike Pfeiffer, Craft Engineering. Good evening, Madam Supervisor, members of the Board of Trustees. I've talked about the subject matter in the past. I'm not sure that everybody's on the board now was in attendance during that time, so some of you might sound familiar for some of you, and something new for others. But anyhow, Flint Township owns a very large sanitary sewer and water main system. It's a public system. It is owned by the township, and you actually have hired or through a contract to have the Genesee County Drain Commission Water and Waste Services maintain that system. Tonight, I just want to talk about the sanitary pump stations. There are 4 sanitary pump stations in the township, and that's not a high number. I know Davison Township, where I work also, they have like probably about 13 of them. So it's not bad to have only 4. But they are mechanical, and they are pretty critical to the system, and very expensive to build, and of course they got to be maintained, and there's money that goes into that too. So of the 4, 2 of them, River Birch Station and Royal Club Station, they're wet well submersible type pump stations, which are the modern type of pump station that we generally use now as approved by the Drain Commission. They were both built in 1999, so they're in pretty good shape. They're fair, modern pump stations that, they might need a few upgrades, but all in all, they're in very good shape. The other 2, which are also the 2 largest stations in the township, the Gray Avenue Station and the Van Kappen Station, they were built when the system was initially built, so they're over 50 years old. And we've talked to the Drain Commission about them before. As I said, they maintain these, so they know what's going on with them down to the detail. But they maintain that they're in fair condition, and we don't know ourselves. I mean, that's what they tell us, but we had an independent evaluation done, and it kind of indicated that there was some serious problems that need to be dealt with. And because they're so important to the township, if you had a pump station go out and you had a backup, literally that means there'd be numerous homes that would be backed up with sewage, which just can't happen. Now, don't be alarmed. The Drain Commission's supposed to be on guard for that. They have alarms that would go off so they can get out there and get a generator and get a temporary pump going or something like that, so it doesn't happen. But still, there's always that possibility. And since these are old stations, they're we call dry can stations. They're not even generally used anymore, not in Genesee County. So they're very old stations that we feel, have some issues that need to be looked at, and it's very possible, and at this time, my recommendation, they need to be replaced. But before I can make that recommendation to you, I think there has to be a little bit more study that goes into it, so we can make sure what the issues are and identify what needs to go in, so we can put a price tag on it and just have a better understanding of what we really need to do with those pump stations. And so basically my purpose tonight at this meeting was just to kind of make you aware of it. And actually I wanted to use it as an opportunity to maybe get any input or any thoughts you might have in the matter. And I am prepared to actually submit a proposal for consideration at the next board meeting. And that will have a kind of an outline of what would be involved, and also it have a price tag on what it would take to do that preliminary engineering study. And that would be kind of like a phase 1. We don't really know enough about it to go right to the construction plan phase. So what I think is appropriate to do that preliminary engineering study, get a good handle of what we got to do, put a price tag on it, and then come back to you with that detail and that additional information to kind of back up our feelings that these do need to be replaced, and to be able to tell you, what the estimated cost would be. And right now, I wouldn't even have an idea what that cost would be to replace them. So
You're recommending, do you want a formal vote from this board?
no, not tonight. It's informational. Remember, I was just going to use tonight to just kind of make you aware of it. I was interested if anybody had any thoughts on the matter, any input, anything you'd like me to consider, any questions. And then, as I said, at the June 6th meeting, you'll actually have a proposal from me that will be in your packet to perform that preliminary engineering study. So if there are any questions, input, even in the next week or 10 days or whatever, I would welcome them. Any questions tonight?
Just from your experience, can you give an estimated cost of, I know you're saying,
They could, pump stations depends on their size, which is determined by the amount of flow that they have to pump. But they can cost anywhere from, say, $200,000 up to $1 million, okay? So that's what I mean. We really don't know what we're getting into yet because we don't have that specific data. But what that preliminary engineering part would do, that would tell us. So rather me just, submitting a proposal to replace the pump stations and go directly to, plan preparation, I think it's better to do the preliminary engineering study to identify, what we have now and what it's going to take to replace them and verify that they really do need to be replaced. And when they're over 50 years old, you got to start to be concerned about them because Water and Waste, they do maintain them. But they've probably been putting in new parts over the years. A lot of it's steel, so it's rusting. And, there's just a lot of concerns when they get to be that old because they're so important. We want to look into them and just make sure that we do the right thing.
Okay.
So through that preliminary engineering study, we'll be able to do that. And then I can come back to you. In fact, they do need to be replaced, which I suspect they do. I can come back with you with detailed information and cost and a better understanding of what we got to do so you can feel more comfortable in moving ahead with the project if that's what you decide to do.
Okay.
So tonight, I just want to alert you that that's what we're looking at now. I understand there may be some ARPA funds available for it, so now there's some additional funding that might be available to help us do that. So it sounds like now might be the best time to look at that.
But there's also money available. So we'd probably do a match, half ARPA, half Water Department funds. So-
Sure, because the Water and Sewer Fund, of course, the purpose for that is to maintain the system. As I said, it is Flint Township's responsibility to maintain those systems, to, actually pay for any major upgrades that got to be done. That is the township's responsibility. The Drain Commission will maintain them, so if they need minor parts or pieces or things like that, they'll take care of that through the maintenance contract. But if there's anything major, the cost is going to come right back to the township.
So
So
you'll
since
have a-
these pump stations are so important, we just want to make sure that we look into them thoroughly and that we do the right thing and that you know all the information you need to have to be able to make that determination.
Next meeting, you'll have a proposal for the preliminary engineering study
Right.
at our next meeting.
And that's going to produce all the, information that I believe you'll need to make that decision
Okay.
to move forward or perhaps not to move forward. But
Okay.
as I say, I'm very concerned about them because they are old. And even though the Drain Commission, they said they do feel comfortable with them, they maintain them. But another thing, we don't even know their capacity. I mean, they may be reaching capacity. These things were built like in probably the late 60s, and generally you only have a life of 30, 40 years. I think the life expectancy was the year 2000, so we're already past that. So they probably replaced parts throughout the years to keep them working, but they're not going to last forever. That we know.
Alrighty.
So we're going to look into them and I feel do what we have to do to make sure that we're looking out for the health, safety, and welfare of the public.
Alrighty, so then we'll save that proposal for we'll have that at the next meeting?
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Question real quick. You're
Sure.
going to check on all 4 stations or just the 2?
No, we're actually I'm gonna look into all 4 of them. I don't expect that the improvements on the 2 newer stations will be that significant, but one consideration will be nowadays, most pump stations, they actually have to bring a generator to the site. Okay, so you have to go through that process. You gotta know that something's failed, and then you gotta, get the generator out to the site and actually put that to use to get, the temporary power to get the pump stations working. Nowadays, it's common to build a generator right into the station. So if there ever an issue with power or anything like that, it would kick over to the generator immediately without having to, notify the agency that maintains them, in this case the Drain Commission, to actually have to bring a generator out to the site. So of course they cost money, but that's a feature that you can put in, or if you want to, maybe you don't want to and rely upon the current system. But I want to make you aware of that, let you know what the costs are, and then we can make a decision. So the two newer ones, it may be something like that I would recommend that, and then a quick connect too. Also, there's a quick connect system if you do have to bring in another pump and hook it up to the system to continue pumping the sewage flow. There's a special connection you can put in where it's literally, you can just slide the hose on it, clamp it, and put the temporary pump into service. So there are some things that would be wise to upgrade them. I want to look also on the telemetry system. It's basically what communicates to the county what's going on with those pump stations. So I feel probably the systems there now, they're probably a little bit older and they probably don't give us much information as we need. So the things like that we want to look at for the two newer pump stations, of course, for the older ones also.
All right, thank you very much.
Any other questions? No? Thank you, Mike. We'll
But
move
if
on.
you do have any questions within the next week or so, please send them over to me. If you don't know my email, Karen knows it, or somebody else here at the township will know it, or you can call me or whatever. So I would appreciate any input. I always welcome any input or any questions for that matter that we get. Thank
Alrighty.
you.
So we'll move on to action item M. It's Holiday Drive Drainage Project.
Does everybody know where Holiday Drive is?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Commercial Industrial Road, old Commercial Industrial Road, located south of Bristol, just east I-75. And there are some large, industrial businesses in there. And the township, over 2 years ago, and it's hard to believe it's been that long, and Karen's the one that kind of spearheaded it. There were a lot of roads in the township that need repair. And the road millage, we're doing a lot of good things with that, but with some roads, that road millage we can't even put a dent into it. They actually have to be paid for through special assessment districts. So Holiday Drive was one of 10 projects that the township decided to move forward with 2 years ago. And that project, we actually put the plans together for that during the summer and fall of 2020. And then it actually ended up being, bid out the next year. But when we were in the process of preparing that plans, we always look into the storm sewer systems. When we rehabilitate a road, normally it's the pavement that we're primarily looking to rehabilitate. But it's also important that if there's any other structural situations you got to review that affect the road, you want to make sure that you look into them. Well, the storm sewer system, I'd say probably 90% of the projects, you keep the existing storm sewer system because they normally last a lot longer than a pavement will last, okay? So when we first were doing the surveys and looked into it, we knew there was problems with the existing storm sewer system. There's a pipe that runs alongside the majority of Holiday Drive. Basically, most of the system flows west and south to the cul-de-sac ending, and then there's a pipe that goes west from the cul-de-sac, and the drainage ends up in the I-75 MDOT ditch. Well, when we were trying to find that outlet, we couldn't find it. The reason why, it was completely buried. Okay, so we had problems there, and we noticed there was a problem too because there was water backing up in the manholes. So what we did, we got a hold of the road commission, and ultimately we got MDOT involved, and we got them to clean out that ditch down to the cross tube that goes under the freeway. So we opened up that whole system, which has been plugged up for I don't know how many years, okay? It didn't get maintained, and it's not like it's highly visible, and I guess nobody thought that perhaps there could be an issue with it. But we got that done, and that was some very important goal to get done. And after we brought the road commission to it, because they actually maintain the storm sewers for many of the roads in Genesee County. And they also weren't able to do any jetting or analysis on the existing storm sewer system until that outlet was cleared open. So that allowed the road commission to get back in there too. And they came back in there with their jetting equipment, and they jetted out all the sewers, and they believed that everything was in good shape and the system was flowing. Okay, and they don't own a camera to be able to actually get down there and look into the pipe, and of course we don't either. There's not any consultants that really own cameras to inspect existing storm sewers. Basically, it's up to the agency that maintains them. Now, the Water and Waste, they own a camera, but the Road Commission doesn't. Okay, so they thought they'd got it all cleaned out and jetted and that it was ready to go. So we continued, completed the plans, and then bids were opened in the spring of 2021. And right about at the time we were getting ready to go to construction, the road was flooding again. So I called up the road commission. I knew it wasn't the outlet because we opened that up. The outlet pipe was, or the I-75 ditch was wide open. There wasn't any problem there. Called them up and told them that there still appears to be some issues out there. Are you sure that everything is okay? And Kim over there talked to her foreman that did the vac trucking that cleaned it out and said, yep, they got through it and everything should be okay. So it appeared as though everything was okay, but the road kept flooding. So Karen got involved that time and I got involved. Actually, I did the design, but the construction oversight was done by the road commission themselves. Okay, so I got involved being the designer to try to figure out what was going on. And since the county doesn't have a camera, they couldn't put anything actually down in the sewer to look at it. So Karen and I, we've worked with Water and Waste before, and they've done us a couple favors, and Karen called them up and asked they do a favor, and that what they did, they gave us a half a day with their camera to come out and look at the sewer. So what we did, we wanted to concentrate on the immediate area where we're having the problem. It wasn't good. The sewer was just, it had settled at the joints, and the joints were opened up, and it was like a roller coaster. It was just up and down for 330 feet. So it was a significant problem, and then we couldn't even get up the sewer going to the east of that because it was too filled with sediment. So actually, all the sediments didn't get pumped, didn't get cleaned out of the storm sewer. They were just so hard packed in, they didn't come out apparently. So I'm not sure how the road commission determined that it was clean. I think because before it was blocked up, and when they jetted it, you know, all the water started coming out the other end of it, so they felt that everything was in good shape. Well, when we put the camera down there, we found out it wasn't. We worked with a contractor at that time that got the road project to get a price from them to put in like at least some of the storm sewer it needed to be put in, but their price was astronomical. In my opinion, they're taking advantage of the situation, and I think that they put a price that was significantly way too high. And so basically what we decided to do was to build the pavement, because the storm sewer is about 12 to 15 feet off the pavement. It's off behind the road, so we don't have to bother the road to do anything to the storm sewer. And Karen authorized me to get some proposals from the companies that do that television inspection, video inspection. And we got a couple proposals in out of the 4 that I sent out in December. And we actually hired M&K Jetting to go out there to videotape the entire storm sewer system from one end to the other end. So we knew what was going on with it. And they couldn't get going on it during the winters because snow was in the way, and just winter weather conditions didn't allow them to operate very efficiently. But they finally got their report done in late February this year. And basically what we determined is that I have a map of it. Anybody wants to see a map, I have a map with me here. I'll just pass it along to you. And I know I only got 5 minutes, and I'm probably running out of time. But I've got 3 copies of the map here. It starts on the second page. That's the entire length of Holiday Drive.
Thanks,
And
Mike.
the storm sewer, I put a yellow highlighting on the part where we have the issue. Does everybody see where the yellow highlighting is? It's tired. There's so many lines on there, but there's an 18-inch storm sewer that's running close to the south right-of-way line. And what we found out, we knew there was a problem with the westerly-most 330 feet of it when the Water and Waste came out and televised it for us, but the rest of it we didn't know. So what we found out is that a good portion of the system is in good shape, no problems with it. Everything going south of that 332 feet down to the cul-de-sac is in good shape, nothing wrong with it. Over by Bristol Road is in good shape, but the part going on the east-west portion of Holiday Drive, which I put in yellow there for you, that whole thing is messed up. It's all holding sediments and water, and joints are open, and it's just a mess. So I don't know what happened with it. I think that it was initially built, it must have been not built correctly. And, the Holiday Drive was done before the Plat Act went into effect in 1967. That's when the Road Commission and all agencies got a much better control over the development of subdivisions in 1967 when the Plat Act went into effect. Before then, I'm not sure how they were inspected or who looked after them or exactly how much, inspection went into them. But the only thing I can figure, a pipe should not settle like that at the joints and come open unless there were problems with the grade that they built it on. So I feel that it must have been put on a poor soil to start with, and over the years, it just got worse and worse and worse, okay? So that's kind of an overview of the entire situation. Did everybody get my report, by the way? I think I put together a 3 or 4 page report, but hopefully everything that I just said that was something you already knew, if I did my job right. But so anyhow, we've determined there has to be 832 feet of 18-inch storm sewer on that east-west portion. Then it needs to be completely removed and replaced. And also, there's another 20 feet down, I think, drainage structure 21, I believe, where the pipe is fractured approximately 20 feet from the manhole to the north. The pipe is, and it's ready to collapse. So those are the areas where there are problems. The rest of the storm sewer system, per the videotaping, as I said, is in good shape and can be left in place. There's no issues. But we so right now we're looking at this 832 feet in the one area and approximately 24 foot in the other area where it's crushed. And I put together a cost estimate of what it'd take to do this. And also with the road funds, there were road funds, of course, that we had. We had a 10% contingency put into it. But basically, the county, they started the road later in the year. The subgrade was extremely wet, and so they spent a tremendous amount of money on undercutting, which basically took all the contingency we had. So we're going to be able to build the road within the assessment that the people were told, okay? But when it comes to the storm sewer, it's a different matter. So we're looking for ways to come up with funding, and I understand that the government has appropriated some ARPA money to, many communities, and the best way I can think of to fund it, and I think Karen agrees, is to, if there's any funds that are available in the ARPA funding, to use them to replace the storm sewer. I don't think it would be appropriate to try to go back to the people and try to assess them more, and I'm not sure if you could actually even do that, okay? And I believe this is a very important, industrial community within the township that generates, a lot of tax dollars and is an asset to this community. And I think we need to do something to fix that storm sewer and also to take care of the road that we just built that we've invested $1 million into. So I hope we've explained how it happened, how it come about, and to actually replace it. We're looking at an estimated construction cost of $153,000, and I put some design contingencies in there for about $7,600 because I haven't designed the plans yet to know every little thing that might take. And then the construction contingencies we always put in there, and the rest is the design, engineering, construction plans, construction engineering, and I put a 1% in there for administrative, like for advertising, for bids and things like that. So we have an estimated total project cost of $208,200. So basically what I've determined, that's what it will take to correct the unforeseen storm sewer problems that we're having out there now to bring it up to par with where it needs to be.
So that's the worst case scenario. It could be less than that after you get bids,
Well, I
right?
hope it is, but Karen, I don't know. I'm the engineer. I estimate it the best I can. Right now, contractors their prices are going up and up and up. They just keep getting higher all the time. So I tried to estimate this higher. I look at the MDOT average unit prices, and they're down. I put in like $90 and $100 per foot for the storm sewer. One's with sand backfill and one's without sand backfill. I actually put, 90 and 100. And the MDOT unit prices are only like 60 to 70, okay? So, I understand that, there could be a challenging project, but I don't understand how it possibly could go any more than, $30 over the MDOT unit, average unit prices. Yeah. These are prices that the MDOT takes for all their project that they basically, build into their informational system so we know what these prices are.
Okay.
But you never know how they're going to be bid. You just never know. But personally, myself, I don't think it's an overly challenging project. I mean, you're talking about 832 feet of 18-inch storm sewer, and it ranges in depth from about 5 feet to 9 feet, so it's not too excessively deep or anything like that. I don't think that we may have to do some undercutting in the bottom of the trench because of the settlements taking place, and I built that into the estimate. But basically, if the board were to approve this would basically authorize me to prepare construction plans for the project and to actually issue it for bids so that we can get competitive bids from contractors to get hopefully a price that's better than this, but regardless, it will give us the best price we're gonna get if we bid it competitively.
You had a question?
Madam Supervisor, are you seeking
Approval?
approval for anything today? Because I
Yes.
don't see a resolution, just,
Yep.
it looks like information.
No, we're looking to
Can you
approve.
talk through what you're looking for?
Yeah, so Mike's, this is two projects, the Holiday Special Assessment District paving, and then this separate drainage project. And it's for the length that he described, the 832 feet plus another additional 20 feet, a little further down from that. And with the construction costs and the engineering costs, the total project is $208,200, and we're looking for approval from ARPA funds to pay for this drainage project. Would it be bid and completed this year?
Yes, that's my intention, yes, as soon as possible. Yeah, we want to get the work on it and get it done because, they got to finish the road project, but because they're not coming back until later than we'd wanted, as you know, Karen, that might give us the opportunity to get in there to get it done before they actually come back. That's my intention.
Okay.
15,000 is in this, right?
Yes, it's included.
Okay.
And the engineering fees are like road commission standards. I don't put my own on there or anything. I follow their percentages, so everything is standard. As a matter of fact, the road commission, they'll often charge on the construction engineering 15%. So I don't think it would take that much, so I didn't put a whole 15% on that. But everything is in line with what typically happens, that is approved by the road commission.
Thank you. A motion would be in order to move forward?
We would move to accept Mr. Piper's recommendation and his request for the $208,200 to be set aside and allocated to fix the Holiday Drive drainage project.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Now, that would come out of ARPA funds.
Right.
And you do the engineering plans, then you're going to put it out for bid, and you're saying that it can be constructed and completed this year?
Yes.
You
Will
had a
that number
question?
come back, though, once you get that number? We'll have to take a vote again, or we're saying if it's within this number?
I would say if it's within this,
That you
then
can
it's
go ahead?
okay, because
Okay.
you're appropriating up to this much money. Like I
Okay.
said, I hope, sometimes pray that it comes in lower, but unfortunately, I don't have control over that.
Okay.
I've done my job the best I could based on looking at past prices and the current situation, and I believe this is an estimate that should cover everything, and I hope it does.
If not, you'll be coming back if it
Oh,
doesn't.
yes. If it goes beyond this, I'll be back here to explain to you what happened with the bidding process.
So we have a motion. Was there a second?
Yes,
there
We
was.
have a second. Any further questions or discussion?
Good job, thank you.
Yes,
Thanks for
Mike.
the
Hard
presentation.
work.
Thanks,
Madam
Michael.
Clerk, roll call, please, on the motion to approve the drainage project on Holiday in the amount of $208,200 out of ARPA funds.
Trustee Campbell,
Yes.
trustee Vert,
Yes.
trustee Favdal,
Yes.
treasurer Anderson.
Yes.
Supervisor Miller.
Yes.
Clerk Triplett, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you also on behalf of the Holiday Drive businesses. I'm
Yeah,
sure they'll
that's
be
very
very
good.
pleased. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Action item N. Did you want, I'm going to do it. So we had our controller retire last June, and we have a new controller, and he has been learning his duties, all along, but he's also oversees paperwork in the water department. Well, there's a lot more to the job, overseeing and directing the supervision of the water department, and I'm requesting that the board approve appointing Kevin, what's his last name? McIntyre, to be the director of sewer and water, and to have more supervisory duties over the treasury department, and to give him a stipend in the amount of $15,000 out of the water department. And I'd also ask that the board would consider increasing his deputy stipend by $2,000 for the Treasury Department.
Would that total then take that to 20?
No, that's 17.
17, okay. Gotcha.
I made that motion. Is there a second to the motion?
Support.
Is there discussion on the motion? Any questions? No? Down this way?
I think it's a good opportunity for him to assist, you know, covering those areas and looking at making sure that we don't have any things fall through the cracks.
And you've asked if this is permanent, and if you'd like to have a review done in 6 months, and we can come back and report.
That would be fine. Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. If there's no further discussion, Madam Clerk, roll call, please, on the motion.
Trustee Quee?
Yes.
Trustee Campbell?
Yes.
Trustee Burt? Yes. Trustee Pavlo?
Yes.
Treasurer Anderson?
Yes.
Supervisor Miller?
Yes.
And Clerk Triplett, yes.
Last item is the final reading on our ordinance 6.10-5. Did you want to say anything on it?
I can say something real quick. I know I reviewed it with the attorney, and just to update it, it's been quite a few years since it's been updated, so this would be much needed.
Alrighty, so this is our second reading, and we need to take a vote on it also if we want to approve this amendment. So a motion would be in order.
Clee would move to accept the amendment presented and clarified by Chief Salter.
Is there,
Motion to adopt ordinance 6.10-5 as presented. Sorry.
that's a motion, is there a second to the motion?
Support.
Any further questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the amendment to ordinance 6.10-5 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That's approved.
Thank you,
We have
Board.
an announcement that our next meeting is going to be held here June 6th at 6 PM. And I don't think there's no other business, is there? No further business. And without objection, we'll call the meeting adjourned. Good job.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. At work or at play, you're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Oh, hey. She's cute. Nice going, man. Things are going great for you. You've earned a night out. Good drinks, good friends. Yeah, we can go ahead and call this a good night. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Not smart. Yeah, I saw that coming. Say goodbye to her. Ouch, that'll hurt your bank account. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. I hope you like eating frozen dinners. Alone. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.